Welcome back, alligators. It's a fucking... What are we celebrating? Gee, I don't know. Could it be the very sad, oh gosh, what a senseless breakup between Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. Cheers. Yeah. Ugh, I don't even drink anymore, but I'm fucking drinking today because we have a lot to celebrate. I mean, I'm so sorry. Where is my sense of decorum? I think I left it in like 2018 when last Shawn Mendes was hot and single before Camila got her claws into him and he started wearing very pointy shoes and not a lot of shirts, which you'd think we would like. Instead, he looks like he got lost on the way to like a gay disco and you're just like, what is happening? Why is she wearing something she fished out of a bin from Party City at the Met Gala? Where am I going with all this? Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello, done. After 2 years together, these two have broken up. Our long national nightmare is over. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I'm going to break down the psychology of their relationship and tell you why these two got together in the first place. Was it a PR relationship? Was it something meant to hide his sexuality? I've got some sources. I'm going to tell you what I know and what I've heard. And also, yeah, the psychology of their relationship, but moreover, what can we learn from this? What do you do when the person you've been obsessed with, you finally get, only it doesn't work out? What do you do when this dream person isn't, when things go bust? And is it possible to be friends with an ex? Because we're going to read their statement and that seems to be the vibe they're going for, whatever. Is this just a pipe dream that when you break up, you want to stay friends with your ex? Psychologically, why do we think that? We're going to get into it. Yeah, we're going to get into this too. It's so good, but you know, when you haven't drank in a while, you're like, ugh. But before we get started, just want to remind you guys to shop my new SLXO clothing drop. We've got Rich and Sad in a champion hoodie and crew neck plus a little tote bag. And we have our second design, Evil is More Fun, because it is kind of just for losers. In a more lightweight and flowy crop hoodie. We've got it in peach and gray and also a full-length hoodie in white as well as a tote bag. And as always, if you need some one-on-one help from me, head over to my website, shallonlester.com. Click submit a question. I can get back to you in a few days, or if you need help ASAP, just 24 hours. Plus, I offer Instagram reviews because we need to know what message our Instagram is sending. What's our brand? You know, what are we doing? Okay, let's talk Shamila. First of all, let's read their statement. Let's just read the statement because it's, you know, I really wish someone would make a book of uninteresting celebrity breakup statements. Thoughts and prayers appreciated and respect our privacy. Okay. He posted, hey guys, we've decided to end our romantic relationship, but our love for one another as humans is, I hate the word humans, is stronger than ever. We started our relationship as best friends and will continue to be best friends. We so appreciate your support from the beginning and moving forward. Camila and Shawn. Yeah, I hate the word humans. Like, you're a special human. You're my favorite human. It just, there's something about it that just like rubs me the wrong way. I always sometimes ask you guys this, but I always want to know what phrases or words just like, just get under your skin. One of them that I hate is kissing on you and loving on you. The on you. It's very like hillbilly thing, and I hear it a lot out here in Montana, and I'm like, don't say that to me. Obviously, the word moist makes us all want to kill ourselves, but like nom nom. I got the douche chills. The hair on my arm standing up. Okay, so Camila and Shawn, they broke up. They've been together for 2 years. Now, typically when a couple releases a statement, hey, we've broken up, usually they've been broken up for months at that point, you know, because it's not something you want to do when everything is fresh. I mean, imagine if you broke up with someone, you were still processing it, reeling, sad, whatever, and it was in the news and people were talking about it. You need that space. So I would assume that they've been broken up for a while, but they were together on Halloween, dressed up as Dia de los Muertos. So that wasn't so long ago. I mean, what was that, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Not even, you know? So you have to wonder, like, when did this actually happen? It doesn't sound like there was like a big event. They're not known for fighting. They're not known for cheating. They're not known for any drug use. So the big question is, Why now? A lot of you guys, because I asked you on my Instagram, follow me, ShallonXO. I asked you, what's the topic here? And many of you expressed a lot of surprise. Like, I actually thought an engagement was around the corner. I totally did too. I thought she was going to turn up pregnant. Like, I actually thought maybe she kind of already was, but anyway. So this was like very unusual for me. And it led people to be like, okay, well, if there's nothing that precipitated it, maybe it was that PR relationship and the contract ended. Her movie Cinderella came out and was a flop. Did you guys see it? I've never seen someone move their jaw like that in my life. And the sound engineer on that movie clearly hated her because, wow, like you can, not auto-tune, not like she needs auto-tune, she's a good singer, but there was no like filter on that voice. It was, someone didn't like her in that movie. I feel kind of bad for her because she can sing. So when we can't come up with a reason for why things happen, and this is a human principle, as we have seen with this Astro World Festival. Did you guys watch my video on that? The comment section is something else. Because I'm like, is there a satanic conspiracy? Okay. When we don't have an answer for things, we come up with things, we tend to have multiple leaps of logic, which is nonsensical because if we don't know something, why would we assume it's something very far-fetched? Now look, a lot has been said about PR relationships in Hollywood. It's a contract relationship, blah, blah, blah. I have worked with celebs my entire career. I have seen the real sources on stories. It's a lot of step siblings. Yeah. It's like, I'm related to you, but not really. I'm not going to inherit anything, so you can go fuck yourself. It's a lot of hairdressers, because you tell your hairdresser everything, manicurists, makeup artists, wardrobe people. It's people like that who are a lot of the sources, but a lot of siblings, overwhelmingly siblings are sources. I gotta say, I have never seen proof of a contract relationship. I just haven't. I've seen strong evidence to suggest that there is a reason beyond just love that two people are getting together. Usually those people are in a movie together and it's like they're trying to play up this chemistry angle, right? Or she's latching on to a bigger star. Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck. Like, fucking come on, dude. Like, she was so clearly using that guy. I don't think he was in a good place. She was calling the paps when they were walking dogs during the pandemic. She's like head to toe fucking Gucci. It's like, girl, who in the hell is you trying to fool? As far as actual like contract sign on the dotted line, I've never seen it. I'm not saying it's not true. I've never seen $1 million like stacked in one place. It doesn't exist. But I'm saying I don't think that should necessarily be the first thing we assume about a celebrity relationship. Did you watch his documentary when that new album came out? They really seem to have a lot of love for each other, which was horrible. So what is the deal with their relationship? He's got to be gay, right? One of my friends is a photographer, like a celebrity photographer. So I'm saying this because she is around celebs all the time. It doesn't impress her. She doesn't need to gossip. She's a very good secret keeper. It's just like, no big deal. She's like, he's straight. I went to a wedding. He was there. He was at our table. And he had sex with my friend, who's a girl. And she's not, like, the girl's not famous. Like, there's no reason he would have just fucked this random chick for but then I've heard gay guys saying, like, I saw him at a party in Los Angeles and he was making out with a dude. I'm going to say that a lot of gay guys in Los Angeles look like Shawn Mendes. And you know how the gays are. They never claim the ugly ones. It's not Jonah Hill. It's like Shawn Mendes, I get it. You can't knock the hustle. I can't blame you on that. Personally, obviously, I need to believe Shawn is straight, but I actually do. I mean, there's been a lot of evidence that he's straight and no real evidence that he's gay. I think he's literally just Canadian, But you're saying, okay, well, Shallon, he's in this 2-year relationship with Camila to prove that he's straight. You look much straighter being single. Because think about it. Okay, he doesn't want to look gay because that's going to alienate his fan base, right? Not that they would like hate him for it, but like your ardor cools when you realize there's literally no chance you're going to fuck your favorite celebrity. That's just how the teeny bopper crushes go. I know, because I am forever a teeny bopper. I'm trapped here. Please come help me. So being gay, bad in terms of fuckability. But having a very serious girlfriend that you're in love with is also bad in terms of fuckability and fantasization. Fantasization? That's not a word. Fantasizing? I'm sorry. It's the champagne. That's not any better. It would be way better for his fan base, like for his brand, and to keep those fires going, to be single and dating around. Because then it gives the fans this idea of like, I just haven't met him yet. Like if I'm hanging out at the Ivy or Teddy's in Hollywood or whatever, Nobu Boom Boom Room, then I just need to meet Shawn and I have a chance to date and sleep with him too. Right? So there's, from a purely brand standpoint, being in a serious relationship ain't it. That's not it. So what are we left with? Ugh, they actually really liked each other. God. Right? I think we can all kind of collectively say, really? I mean, I've interviewed her and she's very nice, but she's very like practiced. You know, the other girls in Fifth Harmony were like casual, and she's like, you know, I don't, why is this the only hand motion I can do? But do you know what I mean? It's like how Lady Gaga is. It's like they're very studied and curated. And hey, that's the game. You can't knock the hustle being a celebrity, and you have to kind of play that game. But he just seems very warm and effusive and whatever. So what the fuck is the deal with this relationship? 2 words. Hurt Locker. Now, if you're new here, you might not know what a Hurt Locker is. You might think it's that Jeremy Renner movie. Remember Jeremy Renner? Yeah. He is gay. Anyway. I almost said Jeremy Renner. Hurt Lockers. No, Hurt Lockers is the name we give to people on whom we imprint. A person in whom we store our hurts, our ideas for ourselves, what we want from a relationship, and most importantly, who we want to be. Let's break this down. We imprint on someone when we're not at a great point from an ego standpoint. On paper, things could be going amazing, right? Ego-wise, we feel a little deficient. Maybe we feel out of our league, out of our depth. Maybe we feel adrift. My ultimate Hurt Locker was this professional hockey player, and I imprinted on him. He was, I think in his 2nd year, he'd just been made captain. And my career, it wasn't stagnating, but it wasn't going as quickly as I wanted. I was in this kind of like sort of fork in the road. And I imprinted on him because he was everything I wasn't. Humble, hardworking, kind, smart, focused, dedicated. And I was like, ah. So it's not so much that I wanted to date him. I mean, I did. My God, if you saw him naked, you would get why. It's that I wanted to be him in a way. Yeah, it's kind of wild. So how does this relate to Shawn and Camila? Think about when they met. He opened for them when he was a teenager. He was brand new to this fame thing. He's Canadian and just so sweet. He's just like a little octopus on land, just oh, hello, soft and sweet. And he opened for Fifth Harmony. By this point in her career, Camila was much further down the road of pop stardom. She knew how to handle the press. She knew how to work a crowd. She wasn't afraid. She didn't have stage fright. She trusted her voice. He looked at her. Yeah, she's beautiful. But she's also who he wanted to be. Because his ego was in a low place. He didn't feel confident about himself. And men's egos are very fragile things. Octopus on land, right? Land serpent. So he looked at her and he imprinted on her. And I think we can all also agree his career has far outpaced hers. I mean, he sold out stadiums. She on her own, she's not doing that. I mean, she's doing well, and her album was a fucking banger. I mean, it really was. Her album was great. Real Friends? Oh, with the Sway Lee verse? Oh, amazing. I love that little thing. Love Sway Lee. But he has become her and more. But when we have a Hurt Locker and when we imprint on someone, like we cannot see that reality. When I moved to Montana, I met a guy who, I mean, I say that I avoided him becoming a Hurt Locker. I didn't. Like I was and remain completely obsessed with him, even though he's so incredibly whatever. But like when I met him, He knew everyone in town. I felt like he knew everyone. I didn't know a single person when I moved here. He was so good at everything Montana oriented. I mean, he could rope and ride and fix things and dirt bike and jet ski and shoot archery and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can hit my angles when I take pictures. Like, he was everything that I wanted to be. He fit in so well. A lot of times our Hurt Locker situation is about social inclusion. And I say this because with this dude, now he's alienated all of his friends. He has no friends anymore because he's an absolute bag of shit. I am a girl about town. I know people. People know me. Like, the tables have turned. I have become what I wanted to become. And yet I cannot let go of him. Even though I know on paper and intellectually, like, he would bore you to tears in 4 days. 4 days. But it's this ego imprintation, right? The way to get out of this is to constantly recognize their inferiority. Not inferiority, but recognize the fact that you have either become what you admired in them, or if you haven't, you need to recognize that too. Hey, look, I still don't have any friends. I'm still really fucking terrified every day I step into my office, whereas my Hurt Locker really has mastered and commanded their career. Okay, your psyche is trying to tell you something. Maybe this is an area of your life you actually do need to develop. So go out and do it. And then you can counteract these feelings of obsession with data, because the feelings of obsession are fantasy, right? What's the antidote to a fantasy? Reality. That's the inverse. So if you're like, I know I'd be so happy with him, would you? Because he doesn't have any friends. So let's picture a Friday night with this dude I'm obsessed with. I'm going out with my girls. He's like, where are you going? When are you coming home? Where are you? You're not going to have a moment's peace. You're going to want to do something on a Saturday. He doesn't do anything because he's let all his hobbies go. We have to inhabit that reality so it becomes muscle memory. So next time we start obsessing and spiraling, we're like, no, I got some data here. What does this have to do with Shawn and Camila, right? We've talked before about Hurt Lockers in terms of Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin, and Hailey and Shawn dated. And I think when they dated each other, I think they could recognize that they were both amazing people, and they're probably so much more similar than we think. Like, I know Hailey's not Canadian, but she was homeschooled, so like, same difference. I think they're both very wholesome, fairly godly, in that sort of vague way. But they were both in love with other people. They were both in love with people who had rejected them. She was still in love with Justin. He was still in love with Camila. They both had little starts with these people, but it never really got off the ground. And therefore, the obsession just grew and grew and grew. So when Justin came back to Hailey, and when Camila turned around and looked at Shawn, how could they possibly have resisted these two people? Who among us can resist the object of our fantasy? I couldn't. If this doof that I'm talking about showed up on my door, I'd be like, okay. I would. If for no other reason, I would just have to know. Because what is it I'm after? Data. I would have to know. Okay, he does bore me after 4 days. His penis is as small as I remember. I've been assuming it was larger, but it's not. You have to go down that road and see how it is. So I think that's what happened with Shawn and Camila. He literally couldn't resist the temptation of seeing what if with someone you fantasized about, who is your dream girl. But what do we do when you get that dream? When we're the dog chasing a car, what am I going to do if I actually catch it? And then you do catch it. I have caught some of my dream guys, I have. It really just didn't feel like I thought it would. It didn't feel bad. And I wasn't necessarily overtly disappointed, but I wasn't this level of ecstatic that I was in my fantasies when I thought about it potentially happening. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's how it is for a lot of goals. When I think about publishing my last book, when I think about I remember the happy memories. Do you know what I think about? I don't remember the release day. I don't really remember my launch party. I assume I had one. I don't even remember. I remember writing it. I remember sitting at Starbucks. I write my books in like 7 weeks. I write really fast. I remember editing and like, I remember calling my agent and do we get this? Oh, and this publisher and this publisher. I remember the climb. I don't remember the summit. What does that tell us? That, as Miley says, it is about the climb. Why? Because we as humans kind of like the struggles. The definition of pleasure is not getting what you want right away. Think about it. You're looking at your Christmas presents under the tree. Ooh, what's in it? I'm shaking, I'm sniffing it. What could it be? Is it a puppy? I hope not be dead by now. Right? If your parents came up to you, it's like you're getting a robot vacuum, a new sweater, and a puppy for Christmas. Bye. You would still be happy to have those things, but it's not the same fetishization. It's not the same amount of pleasure. And this holds true for romance as well. So how can we either keep that pleasure going when we actually get someone, or stop chasing things that aren't going to make us happy in the first goddamn place? Well, it goes back to the hurt locker. Why are you chasing this person? What do they represent? Is this someone who is an emotional getaway car? Do they embody something you want to be? Are you not listening to your psyche saying, you need more friends? You need more goddamn friends. You don't need this dude and his friends. They're not going to be your friends. You need your own friends. Your psyche needs to be heard, and she'll do it the easy way. She'll say it to you. If you listen, okay, fine, I need friends. Or she'll do it the hard way. She will allow you to imprint on a guy the same way an alcoholic or a drug addict is using those things to anesthetize some emotional wound. And now what does that do? Does that fix the wound? No, it just adds a problem on top of there. Same with dating. Okay, I still need friends, but now I'm brokenhearted over this dude, so I have to get over that, and then I have to still make friends. All right, I probably should just make friends. Probably should just make friends, fine. So much of our misery is because we just won't listen. We just won't listen. And that's a function of our ego as well. I can't listen to this person who's giving me good advice, to all the red flags in this relationship, to my own psyche telling me what I actually need. No, no. Why? Why are we like this, for God's sakes? Because we're afraid and we don't trust ourselves. That's what it comes down to. If I listen to myself and if I hear I actually need to go make friends, well, I can't do that. People aren't going to like me. I'm worthless. My dad always said I was. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we see what we actually have to dismantle. But if we like push that out of the way and we're like, but if I get this guy, I don't have to focus on like charming the women of the world and making friends or undoing what my father did to me. I just have to get this guy, just one person. I just have to make one person love me. And then just this portal that opens into happiness. Shawn Mendes looked at Camila Cabello and was like, I don't need to deal with my own deep-seated feelings of inadequacy or imposter syndrome or feeling like I don't belong here in this Hollywood echelon on stage. Why would anyone like me? My songs are fucking stupid. I don't have to do that. I just have to latch onto a woman who doesn't feel that way, and somehow I will siphon off her confidence. I'm just gonna bukkake all over me, and I won't have to deal with this feeling ever again. I'm sorry I keep playing with my hair, but it's really soft today. Sorry. You know what I mean? And when we say that out loud, when we say that about Shawn Mendes, it's like, Shawn, you don't need another person to help you feel confident. You're fabulous the way you are. Right back at you, girl. When we explain and dismantle someone else's hurt locker, we're like, you actually think that about yourself? Come on. But yet when it's us, we're like, oh, no, but that's true. Oh, no, it's true. Logically, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Statistically, how likely is it that everyone else's hurt locker doesn't make sense and they're good enough to solve their own problems, but you and you alone cannot solve your own problems? Look, boo, you're special. Not special because you're so dumb you can't fix your own problems. You're special like Beyonce. You're special like a glass of champagne and a beautiful coupe glass. I love a coupe. You guys know why I don't drink anymore? I started this medicine for my blood sugar because I'm super hypoglycemic and basically pre-diabetic. And it renders me unable to get drunk. I could rip 10 shots. I tried with 4 of them and I'm a super lightweight. Nothing. I mean, the next day I want to kill myself because you still get the same hangover, but worse. I can't get drunk. It's very weird. It's a side effect I can't find anything about on Reddit or whatever. Very, very strange. So please don't think that I stopped drinking because I'm just like so full of willpower. It's literally, I've been locked out of it. I've been like assaulted by sobriety, but it's great. I don't miss it. It does make dating hard. Like dating sober is fucking hard. It's funny when teenagers are like, I have so much anxiety and dating anxiety. And when I get older, it's just going to go away. No, it doesn't go away. You just add in alcohol. I mean, you know, unless you take time to develop skills, then you know what I'm saying. Let's talk about exes, right? Let's talk about exes. They say here, we're gonna be best friends. Oh, okay. Isn't that what every celebrity says? And it's funny that they always default to that because no one in real life does. Have you ever heard your friends break up? Like, yeah, we're breaking up, but we're gonna remain best friends. Be like, Hannah, why? Why would you stay best friends with him? Because we have a tremendous amount of respect for each other. Please respect our privacy during this difficult time. What? Are you having a stroke? What are you talking about? You're going to stay best friends with this dude. Oh, okay. We don't do this in real life. Or if we do, we don't say it the way celebrities do. But the reason, if we ever do break up and we're like, no, we can still be friends. Do you know why? Death. Death. A breakup echoes mortality itself. I mean, we are now blessed enough to live in an age where we are hyper connected to everyone. We can check up on someone. We can see if they are dead or alive still, right? Back in the day, I mean, I lived part of my life before the internet. I'm a millennial. You break up with someone and they're gone. They're gone. I mean, imagine that. You literally never hear from them again. And I look back on my time in New York and it was so much more like that. You didn't run into people. Here in Montana, like no one ever actually breaks up. Like no ex actually fades. You just now have one more person you have to avoid at Town and Country when you go grocery shopping. Great. So the reason we want to think we can stay friends is because we want to have that connection. That's the best case scenario. Do you know what it actually is most of the time when people say they want to be best friends? Guilt. I've said before, men aren't hardwired to hunt or bone or protect. I believe, and based on my years on this planet, they are actually hardwired to avoid being the bad guy. That is their central focus in life. Sex, food, shelter, all distant priorities compared to not being the bad guy. Not ever have to examine their role in something that maybe their behavior is bad. Hence why women are always called crazy. Hence why guys like the cool girl who just likes beer and football and anal and she doesn't wear makeup, but she's beautiful and she's just fine with a date where you just burp the alphabet. Why? Because then they don't have to do very much and therefore they can never be a disappointment and thus their ego is never challenged. They never have to feel like less of a man. So if a guy's like, I just really want to stay friends, I found that the guilty party always wants to be friends. They want to keep checking in on you to make sure you don't hate them. This is why exes will text us like out of the blue if we're not friends or whatever. Just you break up, they text you out of the blue. You go through 6 hours of deliberation about what to respond. Should I respond? Your friends are all co-authoring the text. You finally write back. You're waiting for their reply. Nothing. You never hear from them. And you're like your head is going to explode. Why did they do this? Because you just responding, even if you're like, you can go fuck yourself, Darren. Narcissists, and all men basically are, especially if they're operating in the state where they don't want to be the bad guy, they don't care about positive or negative attention. They literally don't. The worst thing a man can ever hear is silence. They cannot take it because it means they're left alone with their own thoughts. They're left alone with the knowledge, she really fucking hates me. If you communicate, at least she cares enough to communicate. It doesn't matter if you're screaming at them. So you responding at all tells them, okay, she doesn't hate me. Even if you write back, I fucking hate you. He's like, she cares enough to respond. So if an ex reaches out, don't talk to him. If it's important, if he wants to get back to you with you in a legitimate way, he'll keep reaching out. Don't you worry. He will make it known. And if he is wanting to get back together with you, it's not gonna be like, hey, what's up? He's gonna be like, Kristen, I've been thinking a lot. I know what I did wrong. You're the one I want to be with. I'm so sorry. Like, he will come correct. He will not mince words. But that's a topic for a different video. Can you stay friends with your exes? How many, let's talk about our female friends for a second. How many of your female friends have you had sex with? Like 5, 6, oh, it's actually 0? Oh, huh. Why is that? Because you're not attracted to your friends. That's what makes them friends, right? I don't have sex with my friends, and I don't stay friends with my exes, really. I mean, I guess nowadays I do. It's more, though, of a long con to ruin their lives. I mean, they deserve it. But if I had just a run-of-the-mill relationship with someone, like, no, I have enough friends. And when guys ask, can we still be friends? I'm like, no, I don't fuck my friends, and I'm not friends with people I have sexual tension and bad blood with. None of my friends have made me cry, broken my heart, ghosted me, treated me poorly, monologued instead of asking about my day. They've actually never done that. That's why they earn a place in my life. And it's insulting to me that men would assume the price of admission into my friendship is so fucking low. You want to be my friend? That is the highest category in my life, the absolute highest. The bar to be my boyfriend is much lower. You got to be good in bed, have a lifted truck. My friends, though, oh my God, supportive, smart, boss bitches, ambitious, loving, I mean, there is no higher title, no bigger prize I can give to someone than to anoint them as my friend. So a guy's like, you think you're on this level? You can't even hack it as my boyfriend. You think you're up there with the besties, with the angels? Are you out of your mind? Get out of here. We have to redefine what friendship is. It needs to be the highest echelon in our lives, not the lowest. Okay, we're friends. Are you fucking kidding? You earn your place there. You are a long way from that, brother. You are far from good. But what if you're the one saying, hey, let's be friends? Girl, you need to be honest with yourself too. Yeah, men are hardwired to not be the bad guy. We're not actually so different. Do you only want that because you kind of want to keep him on the hook while you look around to make absolutely sure you can't do any better? Because that's what dudes do all the time. Be friends probably is going to translate to, I'm going to call you drunk after I'm at Applebee's. We're going to hook up. Then when you're like, okay, what's going on with us? You know what I'm going to say, girl? Hey, we're just friends, remember? Oh, last night? Well, we were drunk. It's not that big of a deal. We're friends. It is a legal loophole for guys to treat you like absolute shit, and you need to walk in the light of the truth of that. And walk in the light of the truth that you might be doing the same thing. We can't, it's the golden rule, we can't treat people in ways that we ourselves don't want to experience. But let's just say, you're like, no, this person is great. I don't have the chemistry for him, whatever. I do think we could work well as friends, but like, I am friends with one of my exes. I am. And I'm fine with that. And I mean, maybe he would get back together. It's literally never going to happen. I'm sure that he would, but I'm like, no, like, we're good as friends, but a super close relationship, it's too codependent. No. So I've become very good at healthy boundaries and distance and whatever. You can be friends with an ex, but you cannot be friends right away. Why? Because friendship is neutral. And no matter how over it you are when you two break up, you're not on the same page of neutrality. You and your best friends, you and Abby, you and Alexis, you and Madison, same page in terms of neutrality. One of you isn't scheming to finger blast the other. You're just not. One of you isn't like dealing with all these hurt feelings because you didn't reply on time and you're going out with someone else. No. Until you can get to that point with an ex, you might as well stay in the relationship. You might as well just tell yourself, no, we're not friends. I'm still completely in love with him. I'm waiting for him to come back. And until he does, I'm going to be a complete fucking doormat. Yo, that's the deal. Why not just call it out? Walk in the light of that truth. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. And if you're lying to yourself, I am so good being friend. No, I'm fine with it. You're only hurting yourself. And what did we say earlier? So much of our misery comes from just not listening, just not listening. It's okay to be like, I am not over this guy. I know that I should be. Thank you, Jessica. I know that. I know I should be, but I'm not. But I'm not. And the more I pretend that I am, the worse I feel. We talked about this in the Adele video, how to get over someone that you love. What do you do? What do you say? Oh, I have to stretch out my legs. I'm so old. Well, you have to acknowledge it. You have to be like, no, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. Maybe that's going to help change the circumstance. Maybe not, but it's definitely going to get you further than lying to yourself and lying to the other person. Because again, if you're like, I'm cool being friends, and then you guys hook up and you hit the roof, and you're like, are we together? What's going on? He is rightly going to be a little confused. Like you said we were okay just being friends. I mean, I thought, I don't know, maybe we could hook up once in a while. It's not that deep for me. Why did you say you're okay being friends? You clearly still like me. It's just going to draw everything out. If you are saying you want to be friends with an ex because actually you want to get back together, your feelings are valid, but you have to be more strategic. The only way to get a guy back is to ice him out. There's the temptation, well, I just have to suck his dick into loving me. I just have to stay around so that he sees my value. It doesn't work. If it worked, I would tell you. I would tell you exactly how to do it. It doesn't work. You have to ice him out. He can't miss you if he hasn't lost you. You know? We have a lot of videos on how to get an ex back, and actually, we're going to have something very special coming up. We're going to have a whole course on how to get your ex back, but we'll talk about that some other time. So if you want to be friends with an ex, and you genuinely think there's a possibility, you still have to do the ice out. You have to let the dust settle. And this means exercising a modicum of self-control and not texting him, hey, so that he responds so you know he doesn't hate you. We gotta walk it like we talk it. Leave the boy be. Unfollow each other. Put each other on mute. The mute function's a beautiful thing. Don't talk about him. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to mutual friends. Don't bring him up. Let the dust settle. Think of it as a wound that needs to heal and close. If you're in there every day, ripping out a stitch, picking it open, are you gonna be like, but it's not healing? No shit, dummy. It's not healing. You won't leave it alone. You just keep picking at it. And don't let him pick at it too. You can say, you know what? I do think we can be friends. But we're not at a point of neutrality, of mutual neutrality. And you don't have to call it out, be like, you like me so much. You don't need to do that. Like, let's take 3 months, 6 months, whatever it might be. But a good chunk of time, at least a season. I really do believe there's a lot to be said for the change in seasons. We do change. We change our clothes. We change our hair. We change our biorhythms. So at least a season. Okay? Hey, St. Patrick's Day. We'll get together. We'll get a green beer. We'll see what's up. We can be friends then. Okay. Now you've taken that pressure of the mortality of the relationship off, right? You have a plan. You can get better during this time if you want to like glow up, whatever. And you can let that dust settle. And if it's the day before St. Patrick's, you're not ready. Hey, I'm not ready. I still don't feel super neutrally about this. Maybe he doesn't either, whatever. But you have to give it that breathing room. You really, really do. And don't talk to each other and say, we're not going to talk to each other. Let's both unfollow. Okay. Set some ground rules. And unless there's like a family emergency, obviously, if anything happened to your mom, please tell me. I want to know. I'm here for you. But other than that, no drunken FaceTimes, no checking in. No. Okay. We're going to do this for the betterment of what we want later. It's going to take some self-control. It's going to take some maturity. But if you can't do either one of those things, I mean, you kind of don't deserve to be in that dynamic and have that person around, and vice versa. If he cannot be respectful, and if it turns out he actually does just want to keep me on the hook while he fucks everyone in Bozeman to make sure he can't do better, and then maybe he'll come back to me. It's not usually how it goes. Yeah, I'll just be here waiting around. That person doesn't deserve entree into your life. I want to know your thoughts on Shawn and Camila. Have you heard stories about it? Like, I don't want to hear stories you have heard. I want to know first person stories about Shawn being, you know, with chicks, with dudes, and like, we're gonna love him, whoever he is with, but he might not be in the spank bank anymore, you know? You might not name your favorite vibrator after him. Speaking of Demi Lovato's vibrator, she released a vibrator, like, why not just engrave it with my parents' names? Is there anyone I want to think about less right before I have sex than Demi Lovato? Dick Cheney? I don't know, is he coming out with his own line? Who's next? Mike Pence? Margaret Thatcher? Where does it end? I don't know. The Vladimir Putin line of butt plugs. Anyway, we will see you later, Shallogators. I'll be back. We're going to do some more videos on Taylor Swift and Adele. See you later.